All right, folks, thanks for joining us today. My name is Dorothy Jordan. I'm with AARP Alabama, and this is our March Wisdom Wednesdays. And today I have a very special guest, and I'm happy to call him as a friend as well, Mr. James Roberson. He's with the South Alabama Regional Planning Commission Area Agency on Aging down here in Mobile, and he's the regional coordinator for SHIP, SMP, and Senior RX. And we're going to talk about what all of that means in just a second. But James, thank you for coming on, and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday.
Thank you. Good morning, Dorothy. Thanks for having me. I always enjoy coming on to the AARP show on Wisdom Wednesdays.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate it. Thank you. So let's just jump right in. Now, we said that you're the regional coordinator for SHIP. So can you tell us a little bit about what SHIP is?
Sure. SHIP stands for the State Health Insurance Assistance Program. It's actually a federal program designed to assist Medicare beneficiaries and their caregivers. It's a free service. It's actually, again, funded by the Administration on Community Living. And basically, our job is to assist people with all things Medicare. We are not sales agents. We're not reps of any particular company. There's a SHIP that coordinates or works with people in every county of the United States of America. So that's kind of what makes us a little unique, is that we don't have any skin in the game, so to speak. Our job is to make sure people have a free, unbiased place to go to get help with their Medicare options. We can enroll people. Most of our counseling is done over the phone. You know, now since COVID has kind of been in our vernacular a little bit here, I should say, the last several years, we now do a lot of Zoom. We do a lot of emailing. You know, so we're very open now in how we provide our services. We can get to people in a multitude of ways, or we can still do it some of the old-fashioned ways that we used to, whether it's postal mail or someone physically coming down to our office. We can still provide those services. But in essence, basically, SHIP is a free counseling service that is designed to help people understand their Medicare options so that they can make informed decisions for themselves.
What a wonderful, wonderful service you provide. I know that is just so valuable because, you know, the question of all of these different options and different, companies with, Medicare and Medicare Part D and Medicare this and that, it gets so confusing. So it's just so nice to have people like you there who are a free resource, who aren't biased, who aren't trying to sell anything. I mean, that's just such a great service. So talking about SHIP, we tend to talk to you in October, November when it's open enrollment. But this year, there's a little bit more of a special open enrollment, and it has to do with the Inflation Reduction Act and insulin-dependent beneficiaries. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is and what people can do?
Sure. That's a great question there. It's the Inflation Reduction Act. So a little bit about that. Basically, what's happened with that was signed into law back in August of 2022. And it has a direct correlation with Medicare beneficiaries and their caregivers in that it does a couple of things. It's aiming at controlling cost with prescription drugs. A big component of that act is to do a few things. So I'll share with you a few things that it's going to do. Starting in 2024 or 2023, actually, there's a $2,000 cap on all Part D prescription drugs. So now, if you have a Medicare drug plan, there's a $2,000 cap on your out-of-pocket expenses with your prescription drugs. That's one thing. The other thing that's happened is Medicare will now begin to negotiate the price of medications instead of the pharmaceutical companies doing it. That was one of the reasons that the costs were so high, is Medicare itself was not allowed at the time to negotiate the rates for its beneficiaries, right? So now Medicare is kind of grabbing the bull by the horn, so to speak, and kind of controlling that a little bit more through negotiating the price of prescription drugs, which is going to really lower the cost for Medicare beneficiaries. And then lastly, one of the other things, probably one of the bigger things the Inflation Reduction Act has done, is it's actually going to, for your insulin people, it's capping insulins at $35. So any of our insulin dependent people out there that are taking any type of insulin medication, your medication should be capped this year on insulin at $35. So your Novolog, your Humulins, all of those type of insulin should be capped. This is the catch, though, and this is why there's an open enrollment throughout the year. The open enrollment is designed for the insulin people who take insulin. They are allowed to change plans throughout the year this year, at least one time, because what happens is on the Medicare.gov system, you're not able to look at the real-time price of your insulin. So in other words, some people during the regular open enrollment pick plans that they're not sure if that insulin is going to be covered at whatever the price, the $35 rate. Because of that, now you're able, if you go to the pharmacy and just for whatever reason your insulin is not $35, you're able to change that plan to a plan that covers that insulin at $35 one time this year. Okay, so it's a little catch. We can't do that for you locally at the ship. We're going to have to send you to the Medicare office up for our area in Atlanta. Okay, but what will happen is those folks can do that for them up there. We ask that you call us though, so we can help kind of facilitate it for you. For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a big help for y'all to kind of help with getting in touch with the Medicare office. So that's great. So so there's an open enrollment for people who are insulin dependent, who want to look at another plan that caps their insulin at $35. Is that correct? Kind of in a summary? Correct. Okay.
Yes, that's
great.
Correct. Absolutely.
That's wonderful. That is good to know, James. So we should call this Good News Wednesday instead of Wisdom Wednesday.
It is. That's really good news. That is really good news.
Yeah,
that's
my dad's a type 1 diabetic, and he's been so since he was in his early 20s. And it's been a big cost for him for years.
Yeah.
So this is really great news. Wonderful, James. Well, that's really, really exciting. And again, people give James a call. We're going to have a bunch more information and more ways to contact him. But so James, SHIP and this special insulin open enrollment aren't the only things y'all do. What else do you do? I've got something here about prescription costs. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Dorothy. We consistently year around are helping people with helping them with prescription costs. I mean, it's a maintenance deal as far as monthly costs. People are spending exorbitant amounts of money on prescriptions. So we have a program that's actually run through the Extra Help is run through Social Security. Okay, so what's on the screen here is a program called Extra Help. Now, Extra Help is a federal subsidy program that helps people pay for their prescription drugs. It basically subsidizes or cuts the cost of a person's prescription drugs, okay? It's available for people on Medicare. If you're on Medicare, you're experiencing some tough times with any type of medications in terms of your budget or spending. This program may be for you. It does have an income limit asset of $1,842.50 for a single person. That's monthly income, and $2,485 as a married couple. Resources are counted but they're not counting the home you live in or the car that you drive. They're only counting like if you have other property outside of your home or anything like that, and it has to be in excess of 16,000. I think is the resource limit for um, a single person. I think it's upwards of 30,000 or close to 30,000 for a married couple. So if a person's income and resources fall in this range, and they're trying to get help with medicines, they could possibly qualify for this service. What this service basically does is it reduces the amount of co-payments that you pay for your prescription drugs at the pharmacy counter. So we have people that are on this program that may be taking a drug that, let's say the drug is $100 drug that they're taking. They have a Part D drug plan. Their med is $100. Well, if they're eligible for this program through Extra Help, that medication automatically goes down to about $10 for the
Wow.
brand name version. If it's a generic, it goes down to about $4 and change. Now, people who are on this don't get anything tangible outside of a letter saying you're approved. You don't get an extra drug card. What happens is your current drug card, no matter who you have it through, Humana, Blue Cross, WellCare, doesn't matter who you have your drug plan through, your card will be flagged. So when your card is swiped, that's when the rebates or the deductions will show at the pharmacy counter. But this is a really, really good program. It averages about $5,000 a year in savings for most people who get on it. The problem we see, Dorothy, is a lot of people are eligible for this, but they're not enrolled. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know what it is. They don't, they've never heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are afraid to try it or afraid to look into it. We're encouraging people to take a look at the Extra Help program. It is a substantial benefit for people from a financial standpoint when it comes to prices that they pay at the pharmacy counter. $10 for brand name, about $4 for generics, and then some people it's actually zero.
That's a huge amount
So
of savings.
sure. Yeah, we're really proud of it. And
Mm-hmm.
these income limits are new. They just came out maybe a month ago. So that's an increase from where
Mm-hmm.
it was last year. The 1842 is it was a pretty significant jump from where we were last year as
Okay.
far as the income limit.
Yeah. Still, that's a what a wonderful savings. And like you said, not a lot of people know about it. It's such a great program, and to
Yes.
be able to get a $100 prescription for $10 or less potentially. I mean, that's just phenomenal.
It
Wonderful,
is.
James. And but wait, there's more. So tell us a little bit about the Medicare Savings Program. This is another great program that you guys can help with.
Yes, yes, absolutely. This one is actually run through the Alabama Medicaid office. It's designed. The Medicare Savings Program is actually designed, Dorothy, to help people pay their Medicare Part B premium. So anybody that's on Medicare, they realize that their Social Security check it has a Part B premium attached to it for Medicare. So all people on Medicare have to pay a Medicare Part B premium, right? Unless their incomes reach these limits here on the screen. For a single person, it's $1,661. For a married couple, it's $2,239. What this does now, assets or resources are not counted. So this is, you
Okay.
could have $1 million in the bank, but if your monthly income, if your Social Security check is $1,660 a month, you're
Mhm.
eligible. Okay, you can own multiple properties. If your monthly income is $1,660 a month, you're eligible and you're single. Okay,
Okay.
what this does is it pays that $164 a month premium for you. So that money goes back into your Social Security check. So you do not have to pay that money if your monthly income and total monthly income, that means Social Security, pension, if you're still working, whatever your situation is, if your total monthly income is less than $1,661, the state of Alabama will actually, Medicaid program will actually pay your premium for you, which will give you $164 a month back into your check.
Wow, that's groceries right there. So that's
Absolutely.
perfect. That's
It is.
perfect. And then, wow,
It
this
is.
is just such great information. And then we have one more, um, one more really great program that you guys help manage is Senior RX. So, James, can you talk a little bit about how Senior RX can help?
Yes, yes. So there's there Senior RX is unique in itself because it's not a federal program at all. We don't. It's funded through the Alabama legislature. The state of Alabama basically provides funds to our agency across the to all of the AAA's area agency on agents across the state to assist people with prescription drug costs. So this one's a little different than the one a couple of screens ago, than extra help. Some
Hmm.
people we realize incomes are a little higher than the 1842 or $1,842 for extra help. So some people
Hmm.
may have a pension, some people, may have a higher social security amount, but they're still struggling with paying for particular prescriptions. And in that case, this is what Senior RX is here for. Basically, what we're aiming to do with Senior RX is assist people who are struggling for monies to pay for their prescription drugs. That's basically what it is. We want to give them an opportunity to get that particular medicine, and we work directly with their doctors and the pharmaceutical companies that provide the medication. So just in a nutshell, basically what we do is the program will provide you with a 3 month or 90-day supply of the medication if there is a PAP available. And PAP just stands for Prescription Assistance Program. So basically, whatever prescription that you have, we go directly to the manufacturer to see if they provide a PAP, right? If they do, we then send your physician or send you so you can give to your physician the PAP application. Your doctor basically signs off on it saying that you need said medicine, and then that's sent to the pharmaceutical company. In return, what happens is that pharmaceutical company approves that PAP that's signed by your doctor, and you're mailed that medication mail order to your house at zero cost in most instances. Very, very huge savings. I'll share a
Yeah.
quick story with you about this one briefly. There's a gentleman that I knew that had his income was over the extra help income limit and that kind of thing. He worked at a local plant here in Mobile. His wife was a nurse. He was diagnosed with ALS in his mid 50s, and he had one medication that was called Ryutech. It was a very expensive drug at that time. I think that drug was over $1,000 or so a month, right, for this
Mm.
particular drug. And he was able to cover a couple of months of it. He covered about half a year, and then he got to the point where it was just too much on his savings. He wasn't able to keep paying it. So his children were helping him and all this kind of stuff. Long story short, he contacted us. We connected with him through Senior RX. We found out the name of the med. We were able to get him help through the manufacturer through what's called the PAP. The application was
Mhm.
completed. He still gets that medicine to this day, mail order to his house, and he doesn't have to pay anything for it. He gets
That's
90 days.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So when you think of Senior RX, and I can name some of the medicines: Trulicity, Jardiance, Ozempic,
Yes.
Farxiga. Those are any of your inhalers, eye
Mhm.
drops. Those are things that typically move the needle, and we're here
Mhm.
to help.
That's wonderful, James. I mean, just all of this information. And folks who are watching on Facebook, I will put these slides in the comments so you can see them. And you can make sure you contact your local area agency on aging, because even if you are not in the South Alabama area, this is something that's provided to anyone in the state of Alabama.
Sure.
So I've got that number, 1-800-AGE line down there. give that a call. It'll put you in touch with your local area agency on aging. But I mean, James, all of this is for people on fixed incomes and who have, like you said, medications that are $1,000 a month. This is a game changer. I mean, this can take people out of poverty. And, it's one of those things that I think is interesting why I love to try to spread the word about these programs is because, your budget essentially goes towards helping people. There's not a big marketing budget. So that's why this is really important to get this out as much as we can, because it's hard otherwise. But what you and your colleagues do, James, I mean, y'all are just amazing folks, and just the whole, just managing this whole program, changing lives for folks. I mean, it's just amazing. So friends, please give James and his colleagues in your area a call. It doesn't cost anything. Call and ask about all the programs. See what you qualify for. Even if you don't qualify for anything right now, you might later. Or
Right.
it doesn't hurt to just check it out, so you don't lose anything. So, James,
That's
I
right.
wanted to thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. I know we'll probably have you back on. Probably, when the big open enrollment starts, and maybe
Sure.
even sooner than that. So,
Sure.
but thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dorothy. I enjoyed being on with you, and thanks for giving us a platform to share these great programs and services. We look forward to
Absolutely.
working with you. Yes.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank you.